Last time on BPF.
Next step complete. So now we're going to get our West Systems Epoxy 105 resin, and we're going to mix that with their 207 Special Clear Hardener. It has to be the Special Clear. It reduces the amount of yellowing. It has UV protection. Very good stuff the way it hardens. And that's what's going to be the rest of our top coats from here on out. The slow hardener, the fast hardener, those are only used to hold the product onto the main piece. But now we're going to go into Special Clear. So you want to do a nice thin coat, nothing too heavy. This is like I said, a long, tedious process. What I do is I even do a little bit of over epoxy, so it makes the carbon fiber a little hard there. So when it's time to cut, it's a nice, easy slice with my razor blade. If you only have it set up in standard fabric with no epoxy on it, it'll kind of frail out a little bit, so it really helps reduce frailing. I'm hoping you can see in the video that I'm not doing it extremely heavy, just wetting it out. So this first process, we're going to let it sit for 12 hours and then cut off all the excess. I don't like to leave the excess till the very end because then it makes cutting really, really hard. You'll see a lot of guys bust out their Dremels and all that stuff. I like to reduce all that Dremel action. You have potential for nicking and edging the original part, and I don't like to take that risk. It just makes, like I said, more cleanup. But when you can cut it nice and smooth away with the razor blade or an X-Acto knife, whatever y'all might be using, so much easier when you do it when the epoxy's thin on the carbon fiber. Once it starts getting thicker, it's a whole nother ballpark. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this. Also, when I'm working around the holes for the spoiler, I try not to put so much resin in there because I'd like to just cut that away with the razor blade. And so I just try to, if anything, do a really, really, really thin coat over it, so that way it's easy to cut out. I went ahead and pushed all the areas where those holes are, so they sunk in, so I could see exactly where they were at. And that's going to make it easier to cut it out compared to if I would have left it flat, then I'd be guessing where those holes would be. And so also you're going to see like little bubbles. Don't worry about that. We actually pop that using flame or heat. Time to pop the bubbles. So you don't want to stay in areas too long. Just a nice little breeze of ups and downs and backs and forths and all that good stuff. Anytime you can see like there's a little bit of running, get your brush really quick. Now the thing about these brushes is you want to make sure that none of the little bristles stay behind. If you do see a bristle, bust out your razor blade, just pick it off the actual carbon fiber piece and keep going about your business. You're always going to have those little bristles. Street banditos, they do two things different than what I do. One, they'll put a little bit of super glue right along the metal edge, and that helps hold the bristles on. And they also, on large pieces like this, I've seen them do their hoods to where they squeegee on the epoxy. Granted, I know that saves time. I've never tried it. I do get big pieces like this, but not very often. So I just brush it on. It kind of guarantees consistency for me. And like I've always been saying throughout this video, it reduces the mess. So, so where if you squeegee it on, you're going to have to mess with trying to push it off the edge, all that kind of good stuff. So I also kind of look, I get down to the surface and visually see if I can have any inconsistencies and look for areas that might need a little more epoxy just to be a little more leveled out. Now, letting you know, by heating up your resin, you're doing another thing also, like you're popping the bubbles, but you're also thinning out the epoxy. So one, it kind of helps level it out on its own, and two, it thins it out. So you want to make sure that it's not dripping or you're having runs. It's just like paint, you're going to have that paint run, and that's just more work for you to sand up, and we want to have the least amount of work. That's it from another view. See, not very thick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to step in here every about 10-15 minutes and just run the torch over it again, just to make sure all the bubbles are popped, because bubbles that stay there, when you sand them, they turn to little white dots, and then you have a bunch of little white dots all over your part. Definitely don't want that either. Time for the blades. So I use this curved X-Acto tool, kit tool, razor tool, whatever you want to call it. I use that to run along the side of the edge. I'll show you one side and then we'll continue on. So it's pretty much that easy. Having the proper tools always makes the job easier. But that's what allowed to cut so easily, was because I threw on that extra resin. And so I'm going to do that all the way around. All that material is trash. So that's something to know. When you're getting charged with carbon fiber, you got to accommodate for the leftovers. That right there could have carbon fibered several interior pieces, and now it's trashed. But that's a price it costs, or the price you got to pay. So there it is, all nicely trimmed up. Even have it trimmed up down here. It's real nice and easy to cut once you've only laid one layer, and you go with that X-Acto knife or that model knife, and it cuts so clean. As long as you're running up against the metal or the part, it'll guide that knife along the way. So cutting out these holes so they'll be ready. That's why I press down on all these spots,
so I could know exactly where the spoiler holes were. Now these don't have to be 100% perfect, because when it's all said and done, we do fine sanding with sandpaper, but there's that cutout. And see, it took some of the tape, so I'll have to re-tape underneath it so I can continue epoxying the layers. I'm just going to do it to the last two. Okay, I've already replaced the tape that I cut out. I still don't want any epoxy falling into those holes, so I want that tape to catch it. Next step, I'm going to take a 150 grit and clean up all the edges. The way I see it is sand and clean up everything first, so that way it reduces the amount of cleaning later. A lot of guys, what they do is they'll leave the carbon fiber extra material sitting out until the very end, and then when it's time to cut it, they either have to use a Dremel or it's extremely hard to cut, and then you risk the chance of hurting yourself. Why go that route? So when I made the cut, it was nice and easy, still soft. Now I'm just cleaning up the edges, so as I'm adding epoxy, it's where I want it to be. So I'm going to start that. Got my little mini block. That's 220. Here's 150. So I'm just going to take it, run the edges like so. And so I'm going to do that around the entire piece. So the next step that I've been doing is scuffing the surface. We scuff the surface so that way a new set of epoxy can be laid on and actually have a grip. Now this isn't always needed. Some manufacturers give you a 24 to 72 hour window to lay your next epoxy and it still be capable of holding on. Now regardless of, I still like to let the epoxy sit for the 12 to 24 hours and then do this light scuff. So I get my 220 grit. You can go lighter to maybe a 400 or a 320, and then of course my little mini block. And I'm just going to go and lightly scratch the surface. This gives you an opportunity to look for any air bubbles or any bristles that might have came off the paintbrush and that you didn't notice. So once I get it to that state, that's where I want to be. There it is, all sanded. So now at this point, what I want to do is take my 70% alcohol, just spray the surface, and wipe it off. This is just cleaning your surface. Now, another thing I wanted to show you was, remember how I was telling you that the epoxy doesn't care for plastic? So here's the trash bag. This is all the drippage that came off. So you see, that's how easy it is to clean up the mess. Now imagine that plastic bag wasn't there. You'd have to go and sand off all these streaks off the trunk itself. But being that we have the trash bag, look how easy that comes off. Another thing is how nice all the edges are sanded. So they pretty much are right at the edge. So I've already got real nice clean work to deal with instead of having to work hard at cleaning that edge up. That's one of my trade secrets there. $15.99. All right, 2 hours later, next coat across the whole thing.
A very important step to do is let it be exposed to some heat. So the more heat that you expose the epoxy to, the more durable it becomes. If you don't expose it to heat or sunlight for a couple of hours, after you're all done with the product and it's all smooth, it will shrink and the weave pattern will actually show through regardless of how many coats you have put through. A very, very important step that a lot of people seem to miss or leave out.